There are moments when God does not shout. He speaks quietly, firmly, with certainty. And this is one of those moments. What I am about to say is not for everyone. It is not meant to entertain. It is not meant to impress. It is meant to prepare. Because the hour we are living in cannot be understood with a natural mind. Something is unfolding right now, not someday, not far away. And if you are listening with the wrong ears, you will miss it. Jesus once said, "He who has ears to hear, let him hear." That was not poetic language. That was instruction. Because what God reveals in this hour cannot be processed by logic alone. I want to take you to a moment where Jesus explained the season of the world, not in symbols, not in mystery, but with clarity. He said, the one who sows the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. Remember that. The field is not the church. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, and the tares are the children of the wicked one. This tells us something sobering. God has children, and the enemy has children. Both have seed. Both have influence. Both are growing in the same field at the same time. This is not theory. This is reality. Jesus said the enemy who sowed the tares is the devil. No ambiguity, no confusion. And then he said something that should cause every believer to pause. The harvest is the end of the age, not the beginning, the end. And the reapers are not men. They are angels. This matters because what is coming cannot be managed by human hands. As the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so it will be. At the end of the age, the Son of Man will send forth his angels, and they will gather out of his kingdom everything that offends and everyone who practices iniquity. This is the first harvest, not revival, not celebration, separation, and only after that, the righteous will shine forth like the sun in the kingdom of their Father. This is not symbolic language. This is sequence. And Jesus ends with the warning again. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. Because the natural mind resists this. The flesh wants mixture. God demands purity. From the beginning, God has never tolerated mixture. In the garden, there was a tree that carried both good and evil. God did not deny that some of it was good, but he forbade it because mixture corrupts what God intends to make pure. Lukewarmness has always been offensive to heaven. That is why God says, come out from among them. Be separate, not because he is harsh, but because he is holy. And what is coming next requires purity. This final harvest will not tolerate compromise. It will not be sustained by personality, by programs, by performance. It will require the Holy Spirit operating at full capacity. Former rain, latter rain, together, not localized, not regional, global, because the field is the world. Before judgment, there is harvest. Before the end, there is separation. And right now, God is removing hindrance, not with human debate, not with elections, not with opinions, but with angelic authority. This is why things are shifting that no one can explain. This is why systems are trembling. This is why opposition against the church is intensifying, because something is about to be born. And the enemy always resists what God is about to deliver. If you feel pressure, it is not punishment. It is preparation. If you feel resistance, it is not failure. It is confirmation that fruit is forming. Stay alert. Stay clean. Stay listening. Because this harvest will be pure. And it will come quickly. When God prepares to bring forth fruit, He never rushes the process. He allows pressure because pressure reveals what is real. In Scripture, fruit is never produced without pruning, and pruning is never comfortable. Many of you have been asking quietly, why has it been so hard? Why does it feel like resistance everywhere I turn? Why does it seem like progress is slow, even though I am obedient? Hear this carefully. Difficulty is not always opposition. Sometimes it is qualification. Jesus said that every branch that bears fruit will be pruned so that it may bear more fruit, not less. More pruning does not mean you are failing. It means God has identified potential that must be protected from mixture. Paul said it clearly. No chastening seems joyful in the moment, but afterward it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness. Afterward, that word matters because most people quit in the middle. They misinterpret pruning as rejection, but God prunes what He intends to keep. And right now, the church is not dying. The church is pregnant. Pregnancy is not visible at first, but the pressure increases. The church is not the harvest. The church is the harvester. What you are seeing in gatherings, in renewal moments, in worship movements, that is not the harvest. That is preparation. That is the midwives being positioned. The fruit is still in the womb. And whenever something is about to be delivered, the enemy intensifies pressure to abort it. This has always been the pattern. Moses, Jesus, John the Baptist, every deliverer was resisted before birth. Because when God raises a deliverer, it means something is about to be delivered. And the enemy knows it. That is why the church feels opposition, not just externally, but internally. Fatigue, confusion, distraction. Not because God is absent, but because something is forming that must not be aborted. When God prepares a birth, He always sends a message before the moment arrives. Before Samson was conceived, an angel spoke. Before John the Baptist was born, an angel explained. Before Jesus entered the womb, heaven clarified the assignment so that when pressure comes, the carrier understands what is happening. That is the role of the prophetic voice, not to create fear, but to create understanding. In the last few years, God has restored the office of the prophet, not to elevate personalities, but to announce timing. To say, this is what is happening. This is why it feels this way. This is what is coming. So that when the church enters travail, it does not retreat in confusion. Travail is not chaos. Travail is purpose with pain. Micah said, be in pain and labor to bring forth like a woman in travail, because deliverance is tied to travail. You cannot bypass it. The church is in that moment now. This is why prayer feels heavier, why worship feels deeper, why casual Christianity feels empty, because what is coming has never known flesh. This harvest will not be sustained by charisma. It will not survive on mixture. It will not be carried by compromise. It will be born of the Spirit, and only those who remain aligned will participate This is not about numbers. It is about purity. And God is very intentional about what he brings forth at the end. So do not rush this moment. Do not despise the tension. Do not curse the pressure. Do not retreat because it feels uncomfortable. What you are feeling is not delay. It is alignment. God is not late. He is precise. He is making sure that what is born next cannot be controlled by man, cannot be corrupted by systems, cannot be silenced by opposition. That is why he is stripping motives. That is why he is exposing mixture. That is why hidden things are coming to light. Not to shame the church, but to clean the womb. Because what God is about to release must be carried by clean vessels. In this next season, many will say, where did this come from? But it did not come suddenly. It was formed in prayer. It was shaped in obedience. It was protected in obscurity. It was refined in pressure. What is coming will not look like past moves. It will not be built on personalities. It will not be announced by platforms. It will not depend on permission. It will emerge because heaven decided the time had fully come. And when it does, it will expose the difference between spectators and carriers, between those who visited the moment and those who endured the process. So stay faithful. Stay hidden if necessary. Stay obedient when it is quiet. Stay humble when no one sees, because God always trusts birth to those who survive travail. And when this is delivered, you will look back and realize the pressure was proof, the pruning was mercy, the delay was protection, and the silence was preparation. This is not the end. This is the beginning. Now hear the word of the Lord clearly. After the shaking comes the sending. After the refining comes the revealing. After the hidden season comes the moment of trust. God never exposes a vessel before he secures it. What he is releasing next will not be handed to the ambitious, but to the available. Not to the loud, but to the faithful. Not to those who chased influence, but to those who carried obedience. When no one was watching, this next move will not ask for permission from culture, systems, or fear. It will move with authority because it was forged in submission. Many doors will open at once. Opportunities will converge. Assignments will accelerate. But only those who learn to move slowly with God will know how to move quickly with him. You are entering a season where discernment matters more than opportunity. Not every open door will be God's door. Not every voice will carry heaven's weight. This is why intimacy must remain your compass. Stay close to the whisper. Stay sensitive to restraint. Stay obedient to instruction. Those who rush will stumble. Those who listen will lead. The days ahead will require courage without pride, boldness without compromise, and authority without arrogance. God is raising carriers, not celebrities, stewards, not performers, watchmen, not spectators. And when the world asks, where did they come from? Heaven will answer, they were prepared. So stand firm. The storm is past. The ground is ready. The seed is secure. Now go, not in your strength, but in his timing. And now understand this. What is coming carries weight, not hype, not emotion, not excitement. Weight, glory that steadies rooms, presence that silences confusion, authority that does not need to shout. This move of God will not be explained easily. It will be recognized immediately. People will walk in heavy and leave aligned. They will not remember every word spoken, but they will remember what lifted, what broke, what shifted, because glory does not entertain, it transforms. But weight requires capacity. That is why God dealt with character before releasing power. That is why he corrected privately. Before trusting publicly, that is why obedience came before visibility. In this season, some will try to imitate the sound without carrying the substance, but imitation collapses under glory. Only what is real remains. Those who host this weight will live simply, walk humbly, and stay fiercely submitted. They will guard the presence more than the platform. They will fear God more than public opinion. They will choose purity over popularity every time. And through them, God will restore order. Where chaos reigned, clarity where confusion ruled, and hope where weariness lived. This is not revival as you have known it. This is government, heaven touching earth, through yielded lives. So make room, clear the schedule, quiet the noise, consecrate the heart. Because when the weight arrives, everything unnecessary will bow, and only what heaven approves will remain standing. This is the glory that follows obedience. Now comes the hour where neutrality is no longer an option. The days ahead will draw clear lines. Not everyone who walks with you now will walk with you then. This is not betrayal. It is separation by conviction. God is not dividing his people. He is defining them. Those who stand in this season will stand alone at times, but never unsupported. Heaven backs obedience. There will be pressure to soften truth, to delay obedience, to stay quiet for comfort. But this is not a season for silence. It is a season for clarity. Speak what God says. Stand where God stands. Refuse what God refuses. You are not called to win arguments. You are called to hold ground, and ground is held by those who have already settled who they belong to. Do not fear resistance. Resistance confirms assignment. Do not fear rejection. Rejection refines alignment. Do not fear being misunderstood. Truth is rarely understood before it is proven. God is entrusting watchmen again, men and women who will not negotiate obedience. They will pray when others post. They will fast when others explain. They will obey when others delay. And because of this, they will see what others miss. They will hear what others ignore. They will be positioned before the shift is announced. So take your place. Do not blend in. Do not back up. Do not bow down. You were not preserved for comfort. You were preserved for this hour. Stand. Heaven is watching. And now the charge is released. You are not being prepared to escape the days ahead. You are being prepared to go through them with authority. God is not removing his people from the battlefield. He is placing them at strategic gates where decisions are made, where atmospheres shift, where futures are redirected. This is not a call to withdraw. It is a call to occupy. Occupy with prayer. Occupy with truth. Occupy with unwavering loyalty to the voice of God. You will be sent into rooms that feel resistant, systems that feel immovable, conversations that feel tense. Do not fear that tension. Light always creates contrast before it creates change. You are not sent to dominate. You are sent to represent, to carry heaven's tone, to release heaven's order, to stand as evidence that God still governs. Some assignments will feel too heavy for your strength. That is intentional, so you will lean fully on His. You will speak, and peace will settle. You will stand, and confusion will lift. You will obey, and doors will unlock that no strategy could open. This commission is not for the many. It is for the willing, those who said yes when it cost them something, those who chose obedience over convenience, those who learned to move at God's pace, not the crowd's pressure. So go forward, not rushed, not fearful, not distracted. Move with reverence, move with clarity, move with authority, because the hand that prepared you now sends you, and the presence that formed you will go before you. This is your assignment. Walk worthy of it, and finally receive this assurance. You will not do this alone. The same God who called you will keep you. The same presence that shaped you will sustain you. There will be moments when the weight feels heavy, when obedience feels costly, when the road feels narrow. In those moments, remember, grace is not removed. When pressure increases, grace intensifies. God does not send without covering. He does not assign without supply. He does not commission without companionship. What He requires, He empowers. What He asks, He supports. What He entrusts, He protects. You may not always feel strong, but you will remain anchored. You may not always feel certain, but you will remain guided, because faithfulness is not proven by confidence. It is proven by consistency. Day by day, step by step, yes by yes, and in time, you will see clearly why this path mattered, why this process was necessary, why obedience was everything. The fruit will speak, lives will change, atmospheres will shift, doors will open that only obedience could unlock. And when God is finished, no one will be able to say it was your strength, your wisdom, or your timing. They will know this was the Lord, so rest in Him, remain faithful, and move forward without fear, because the one who sent you walks with you always. And when the days unfold, this will be the evidence, not noise, not self-promotion, not explanation, fruit, lives awakened, homes restored, hearts turned back to God, fear losing its grip. You will not need to defend what God is doing. What is real always speaks for itself. In quiet ways, people will notice. How did you remain steady when everything shook? How did you walk in peace when others panicked? And without rehearsed answers, your life will testify, because obedience always leaves fingerprints. This is how God marks His people, not by titles, but by impact, not by visibility, but by faithfulness. You are becoming a living witness that God still leads, still speaks, still governs the affairs of men. And when pressure rises again, because it will, you will not shrink. You will recognize the pattern. Shaking does not mean retreat. Resistance does not mean failure. Silence does not mean abandonment. It means God is advancing another layer of trust. So stay yielded. Let your life preach before your words do. Let your consistency speak before your voice is heard. Because in the end, the loudest testimony will not be what you said. It will be how you stood, faithful, unmoved, aligned. This is the witness God is raising in the earth now. Do not fear this season. What you are experiencing is not loss. It is alignment. God is not destroying you. He is delivering you from what would have destroyed you later. He is removing weight so you can carry glory, exposing cracks so the foundation can be strengthened. Some things are leaving because they were never authorized to stay. Do not mourn what God himself removes. He is not stripping you. He is refining you. What survives this fire is what he intends to use. What remains after the shaking is what he trusts. This is not delay. It is preparation. God is ensuring that what is born next cannot be controlled by people, corrupted by systems, or silenced by pressure. That is why motives are being exposed. Mixture is being confronted. Hidden things are coming into the light. Not to shame the church, but to cleanse the vessel. Because what is coming requires clean carriers. This next move will not look like former moves. It will not be built on personalities. It will not depend on platforms. It will not be announced by hype. It will emerge because heaven decided the time had fully come. And when it does, it will reveal the difference between spectators and stewards, between those who visited the moment and those who endured the process. So stay faithful, stay obedient when it is quiet. Stay humble when no one sees. God always entrusts birth to those who survive travail. After the shaking comes the sending. After the refining comes the revealing. After the hidden season comes authority. But this authority will not be given to the ambitious, only to the available. Not to the loud, but to the faithful. Discernment will matter more than opportunity. Not every open door will be God's door. Intimacy must remain your compass. Move slowly with God now, so you can move quickly with him later. What is coming carries weight, not hype, not emotion, not noise. Weight, glory that settles rooms, presence that silences confusion, authority that does not need to shout. This is not revival as you have known it. This is government, heaven enforcing order on earth through yielded lives. But weight requires capacity. That is why character came before power, obedience before visibility, submission before influence. Imitation will fail. Only what is real will remain. And now, neutrality is no longer an option. This is the hour to stand. Lines will be drawn. Pressure will increase. Truth will cost something. But heaven backs obedience. You are not called to win arguments. You are called to hold ground. God is raising watchmen again. Carriers, not celebrities. Stewards, not performers. You are not being prepared to escape the days ahead. You are being prepared to walk through them with authority. You will be sent into resistant rooms and difficult spaces. Do not fear the tension. Light always creates contrast before it creates change. You are not sent to dominate. You are sent to represent. And hear this clearly. You will not walk alone. Grace increases where pressure rises. What God requires, he empowers. Faithfulness will be proven, not by confidence, but by consistency. And in time, fruit will speak. Lives will change. Atmospheres will shift. Fear will lose its grip. You will not need to defend what God is doing. Your life will testify, not by noise, but by fruit And when pressure comes again, you will recognize the pattern. Shaking is not abandonment. Resistance is not failure. Silence is not absence. It is God advancing another level of trust. So stay yielded, stand firm, remain aligned, because when all is said and done, no one will say, this was your strength or your wisdom. They will know, this was the Lord.